Can you hear me? You have to tell me if I'm not speaking up. First of all, I have to tell you that that was Lucy's idea last night. The go-go. That was all Lucy. She calls me up. She says, Ren, I put on my website that I think you're going to come in and you're going to go-go dance. I'm like, huh? I guess it's an offer I can't refuse, right? And then I went out and bought a little, a little something. And then yesterday at the rehearsal, she said, oh, Ren, I got this blue dress and it matches my beads. And so I go and I look at it and it's this big, I said, is there a bottom to this, She's like, oh, no, wear some fluffy panties, you'll be fine. Is that Lucy or what, So there you go. Wasn't she great? That was so fun, I know. Thank you guys for coming. So what should we talk about? It's been a good year for me. I had a little baby, Iris. She's here somewhere. And what else? I finished Diamonds and Guns. Woo! Oh, what an event. It's actually done, so now I get to learn how to sell it. There's more. So hopefully you'll actually get to see it sometime this year. It'll obviously go to DVD in one way or the other. And it's so fun. I'm really proud of it. It's absolutely ridiculous in every kind of way, and you guys will appreciate all the humor that I put in. Lots of sound effects. There's little whooshes. And yeah, I was working with a guy named Matt Waters, and he did the sound recording to re-record some of the bits and pieces. And he told me the story behind the whoosh. And he said that he was working on Hercules, and they kept adding this, here and there. And they knew that they had something when Michael Hurst was taking these little flower petals and flicking them. And it was a very sentimental moment. But they did the whoosh, and they did the whoosh, and they just cracked themselves up so much, So they said, that's it. And they just kept adding it there and there. And so I thought that was interesting. And so that's that. And then I did Ghost Town, which is a little Western. Yeehaw! And that was really unusual. I think you guys know that I had read the script and there was really nothing in there for a female. So I said, well, you guys have a great script for guys, thank you anyway. And then they said, well, hang on. Why don't we change this one role and make it for a lady? And the character is Little Jack. So I just said, that's fantastic, of course, And I wanted to work with these guys because it's basically two actors that are in the film, and they are producing their own projects, and they're about 5 projects down the line. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to see other people who are doing what I want to do, which is more producing for vehicles for myself or for our friends. And so I went and I just sort of watched, and it was a lot like Xena in some ways because it was really cold. So I brought my Xena like duffel bag that I wore on set all the time in New Zealand. I looked like a little Eskimo. And they thought that was a little over the top. But I said, no, this coat brings me luck. So I had that on, and it was just this old little saloon in the top of the Smoky Mountains. Saloon, I mean, we worked in a saloon, but it was an old strip of a western town. And the bathrooms weren't working. And it reminded me of the portaloos in New Zealand, We used portaloos all the time. Once I would get in there and people would sort of shake it, just to make sure I was on my toes. And so it reminded me of Xena many times. It always does. Xena was such an event for me. And so everything sort of brings me back to those memories. But this is fun. They've been editing, and they have about an hour into the movie. And they just keep talking about how happy they are. And it's a little violent, But then I'm doing Boogeyman, so Boogeyman's really violent. I'm excited about that too. So if you don't like a horror film or a Western, then you've got the comedy Diamonds and Guns. So there'll be something out there for everybody. And I know, I'm excited. Oh, I play a psychiatrist. They're in trouble, right? 'Cause I'm the psychiatrist. I play Dr. Ryan, and I'd heard about this project, and so I sent word to Rob, and I said, Rob, I'm really interested in this character because she deals with schizophrenia. And it turns out, when I first moved to Los Angeles, one of the first things I did is I worked on this little tiny film for an institution, and I had to play a schizophrenic girl. Has anyone seen this? No. Yay.
What's it called?
I don't remember. A Place for Sarah. Yes, there it is. A Place for Sarah. Now you're going to look for it. But anyway, when I worked on that little project, I had just found out that a friend of mine had been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and this was a guy that I had grown up with, and I was just so shocked and amazed that that could happen. So then, fortunately for me, I was able to learn about it, which is, again, why I love acting. You get to learn about human conditions. And so anyway, back to Boogeyman. So this character, Dr. Ryan, she is a lady whose mother was schizophrenic, and so she grows up having to deal with this. And then she decides to start her own institution because she thinks that there are other ways to treat people besides shock therapy. And that's her backstory. And then basically the film picks up with everything going crazy in the mental institution. So, yeah.
And so we have the microphones on the side here for questions. People can come on up and ask the questions, or if you're, like I say, can't get through the aisles, just raise your hand. Yes.
Yes.
They're sitting there so quietly today. We got a question over here. Yep.
Did I have fun last night? I had a great time. Lucy's amazing. You know, it was so funny. It was really great just sitting back and watching her, because I can see why you guys love her so much. I get teary. She rocked.
You got a question?
I see that you've been dabbling in directing in independent films, and I was wondering, with your experience, do you have any advice for other female filmmakers, and do you think after Diamonds and Guns you plan to continue to do independent films?
Yes. You know, it's funny with Diamonds and Guns, I really didn't direct it at all. I just acted as a producer, you know, as much as I could, but I did redirect some pieces, so that wasn't a vehicle for direction. However, it was a great experience because it was like going to film school. So if you can't get out there and do it yourself, then I highly recommend going somewhere where they have the facilities to give you the opportunity to learn. That's what I did. It was just a big learning curve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And there's a question on the other side.
Yes?
Yes. As a martial artist, I noticed that you did kickboxing and yoga in the past, and I was wondering if you still do any sort of martial arts to stay in shape, or how you stay in shape, since obviously you're...
How do I stay in shape? Did you hear that? Oh my gosh. I run around after the baby and miles and clean the house, and I go for walks. I don't really do all the things I used to do because I don't have the time for it. It's not my priority. When I'm not with my children, then I've been working on Diamonds and Guns. So I have, you know, maybe 3 hours a day to just try to get everything I can accomplished, and then I'm with the family. So no, it'll come back though. I'm looking forward to it because my body loves physical activity. So I love dancing and anything that I can do. So it'll come back. I promise.
Rob and Liz were just here, and they were talking about to HelicOn and back and a certain patent speech that you did not want to do, refused to do. Can you tell us about your side of the story?
My side of the story. I remember that it was Gabrielle being Patton, and I thought that what they didn't have in there was the heart of Gabrielle, that, you know, she tries to be the warrior, but she's always compassionate. She never wants to be like Xena, you know, really. So it had more of a dictatorship, Xena pragmatic approach, and I felt like the heart wasn't there. So I just really wanted to get back to that, because I think that was what ran through the 6 years with her, is that it was all about love and heart, you know. So that's my approach.
Hi, Renee. Name's Wesley, and I had a question for you. Since Valley Forge, this October will be 10 years, and I saw some significance, and I was hoping or wondering if you would consider twirling the staff a couple of times for me.
Can I twirl anymore? I don't know. I'll try. I don't know. Can I twirl? It's funny because I do end up sword fighting with my son Miles. He loves it. Oh my gosh. It's so funny because I'm right in there with him, you know? And he just goes for it with all of his energy. Can I do this anymore? I don't know. Yeah, I should put the mic down. That's true. Just like old times.
I think we have a question on the other side. On the other side there?
I was just wondering, after getting photo ops with you, how many of your outfits you were allowed to take with you?
How many outfits do I have at home? Yeah. Oh. There's still a few more. I have, well, I'd have to surprise you guys, I guess. I don't know. There's still a few more. I just was really fortunate that they fit me perfectly, you know? It was funny. I have a few more.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering what your thoughts were on a Xena movie and if you'd be interested in doing a Xena movie.
What did Rob say?
Rob said it's looking a little bit more like possible in terms of a DVD movie.
Yeah. You know, it would be, yes, I would definitely really be curious. I would do it, of course, for you guys. Yeah. Wow, can you imagine? That would be really fascinating. I think it'd be great. So I don't know what the story would be. It'd be interesting. But yes, of course, you guys will show up. We'll be there.
I was thinking of the character that Dennis Weaver played on Gunsmoke, Chester, which was your typical sidekick. Can you picture a stereotype typical sidekick who just sort of does stereotypical sidekick stuff?
Seems like they're always